Alrighty, and we are live. Welcome to another Lunch and Learn with Purse Strings. My name is Maggie Nielsen, and I am a partner here at Purse Strings. And we do these lives to get some tips, tricks, pieces of advice on how to be financially fearless. But then when you are, working on your budget, preparing for retirement, maybe you're getting married or getting divorced, whatever it may be, we have top tier financial professionals willing, ready, and able to serve you along the way. Connor is one of them, and we're so excited to have him with us today to kind of tell his story about a client, Sarah, that he helped, which amazing results. And so I'm so excited to dive into this. But before we get started and all that, Connor, could you give a little intro of who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. So I was a financial advisor for 22 years. I'm a chartered financial consultant. I became a financial wellness coach just to help people with the habits and behaviors. Married, two kids, live in West.
Awesome. And can you explain a little bit like what a financial wellness coach does?
Yep. So a financial wellness coach really helps people with the habits and behaviors and helps them make wise financial decisions. So we take the different areas of their life, their goals and values, make sure they're aligned with their financial decisions. We don't sell anything. We don't sell products or recommend anything like that.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I think this story that we're going to walk through gives a great perspective of really how you help your clients. And to give away a little bit at the end, I know your client paid off $47,000 of credit card debt and is paying for vacations, for cash, and has that emergency fund for like a broken AC unit, so it doesn't get crazy. And so these are real results I know a lot of other people out here are looking for. So can we just kind of start with, what is the situation Sarah kind of came to you with? What were some of those concerns or the reasons why she wanted to start this conversation?
Yeah. So Sarah is age, but she was single mom, two kids, working mid-level career. She's tried some things in the past. She's very busy, right?
Hmm.
And her career demands a lot. Her home life demands a lot. And she came to me and she was discouraged, a little bit of shame, embarrassment about some things. And, she was frustrated. She was overwhelmed with a couple things. She was disorganized, a little bit frazzled. And listen, Sarah is ambitious. She's intelligent. She's hardworking. Air life, it kind of the pieces weren't fitting, and she was getting very frustrated with a lot of things. So that's how she came to me originally.
Okay, yeah, and I get that as, I mean, I'm not a single mom, but I understand how busy you are, with work and the kids and everything else. And it doesn't seem like you have any more time in your day to really figure out all your finances. And it's kind of like the money's gone by the time you already had it. And I know we were talking
Correct.
about that she, was kind of always in this midst of like, do I pay for my kids' stuff now or do I kind of prepare for my financial future, right?
Yeah, so I call it like, let's stop the eternal tug of war with your personal finances. And the eternal tug of war for her was, do I send my kids to camp or go on the family vacation? Do I
Mm,
pay for it now or say no when I don't want kids to fit in with the other kids? And, a lot of guilt, shame, remorse was with that decision. And it was always a constant struggle for her. So that was the challenge that she had internally that we uncovered. She didn't know that initially. And yeah,
so what do you kind of do at the first, initial
so forth.
meeting when somebody comes to you with these different fears and, kind of this battle going on in their head already of like this or that, where do you even get started?
So what we do is we take a look at their goals and values. I just want to meet them where they're at. There's no judgment. So it's just understanding what they're doing now. What have they tried in the past? Enjoyed it. Do they have a budgeting process? What is it? So it's not like I want to get out of debt. It's always a couple different lower reasons behind that, right? So it's the real why. And it's like, well, I want to get out of debt. So does everybody, but why you? What is too much time at work and I'm not going to my kids' football games? Ah, okay.
Mm.
Why is that important to you? Oh, well, family's a really big value in my life. Ah, so you feel like you're valuing some of your values. Yes, that's what I really want to get into on the first session.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, making sure all your goals are really aligning with your values because it is more than just paying down debt, and that's not going to drive you to do it. And once you pay down the debt, then like what's the reason, what's the reasoning then, what's the goal there? So it makes a lot of sense to really dive in and understand those values of why you want to get out of debt. It's to be with your family and to spend more time with them. And
Yes.
so what kind of how do you kind of prioritize your clients' um, concerns? There's a lot of different things going on between the kids and the time and all these different things. How do you kind of get started there?
Yeah, so the first thing we did is we helped her to take a look at holistically like time, right? Everybody has 1,440 minutes a week, right? So it's like, okay, how are we going to allocate time? So it's thing called the plan. It's 15 minutes. That's all it is. So she liked that idea because she didn't have a lot of time. So we went baby step by baby step and helped her prioritize needs, wants, what was pressing issues, where could and really start tracking where her money was going, right? And what was important to her, and were those things aligned, right?
Mm,
And ways to reduce financial stress and burden. And she wanted to teach her kids about all these things. It was baby step by baby step. We had to help her first,
right.
right? Put the oxygen mask on herself before saving everybody else in the plane. So it was okay. Let's give you a process to follow over time and be proactive versus reactive and get control of where you are today. It's not going to end where you are today.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. And you're so right about the oxygen mask is you got to help yourself first before you can even teach to these kids how to manage money. Because yeah, you've got to know first. And so I know you kind of said you went through the budget and worked on cutting some things
See to your
down.
kids.
Yeah, exactly. And so when you're kind of going through the budget and cutting some things out, there were a couple things that I know you worked with her on specifically to kind of cut back. One of them, I think she bought a new car, right? Was that to save money on an expensive car expense, or just because she needed a new car?
Yeah, she needed a new car. So one of them was, do I buy or lease a new car? Right? She had I think a 10-year-old. It was 10 years old, and it was high mileage. And she was like, listen, the kids are getting bigger. I'm going to need a new car. What do I do? That's an overwhelming process sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So I walked her through, I held her hand through that whole process of this is what they're going to ask you the questions of. This is what buying looks like. This is what leasing looks like. Actually put her in a car salesperson to just educate her on how that whole process works. Based upon her financials, this would be the best decision for her. And then he outsourced it to another dealership completely for her. So she felt very comfortable with that whole process. And it served her purpose quite well.
Definitely. I mean, I know those are huge decisions, especially if you have to make them alone and you want to save car for your kids. There's a lot of moving parts there, and so it's hard to figure out, which path to go down. But it sounds like she had you to collaborate with and a trusted car salesman that could really make that process a lot smoother.
Yeah, so it's all about reducing you don't want to overwhelm the overwhelmed or stress out the stressed, right?
Right.
So fear comes from the unknown. So when you don't know something, there's anxiety. The money goes down. You feel more empowered and in control and confident of the decisions you're making because you know why you're making them, not because someone's telling you. It's because you're telling them why you want to do it and it's aligned with those things.
Right. I love that. It's a great point. And then I know you also helped her cut back on a couple other things, like I think what, home and auto insurance, correct?
Yeah. So so what we did, she had a lot of impulse purchases also in her budget. And what we did is we went through her budget and we said, okay, anything under $20, I just want you to highlight it. Justly, that added up. And over 2 months, it was about $480. It
I could
doesn't
see
that
that.
that that affects the bottom line. So it's just being more intentional and awareness to the purchases that we don't think of, right? Utilization of this money based upon your goals and values. It was debt, getting out of the debt, right? And once she got out of the debt, I mean, she did tremendous, absolutely tremendously. $47,000 was a student loan plus credit cards,
Wow.
right? But now she had direction of knowing exactly where she wanted her money to go and why. And we slowly incorporated with her budget this thing, a concept called sinking funds. Sinking funds are goals that you start saving for that you know are going to come up. Christmas or on the radar, right? Car repairs. And we started slowly breaking them down and saying, okay, $100 towards this, $120 towards that, and just saving in the savings account. So when you look at your savings account, you know, oh, this 16,000 dollars is for these items in my life.
And so when you work with someone and kind of have that separate account that you start filling your sinking fund, do you do one savings account that holds all of those, or do you open multiple accounts that, really are titled car repairs and Christmas shopping and all those
You have a
different
ledger
things?
ledger or a paper ledger. Yeah, you have one account that has one savings account, let's say whatever, 16,000, $20,000 in there, but you have a ledger that you know what each goal is for. So let's say, right, of that $20,000 you have in the bank, 1,500 of it is for earmarked for Christmas. The tire replacement fund on the car, $800. Uh, prom,
Oh yeah.
right? Or holidays or whatever it may be, save things, you know how close you are percentage wise towards your goals.
I love that. That's awesome. And yeah, it's you have to kind of sit down and really think through what are all those things that are going to come up. There's typically no way that you remember all of them, as with two kids, there's a lot of random payments, I'm sure still, but even just looking at what was under $20, because I know those easy spends are like, well, it's only $20, it's only $10. But when you take a step back and it's $500 at the end of a month or two, you can see where there's some savings.
Your bank statement. Yeah, pull up your bank statement and just highlight anything under $20. And you'll see the number, the whole sheet will be like highlighted. You're like, wow, what is that? It's just non-intentional spending that you didn't really plan for over time. Because anything over $20, you
Yeah, definitely. And that's why I think it's great when they can sit down with somebody like yourself, because honestly, thinking about that almost makes me anxious and I don't want to look at it because you're like, I'm going to have to face the truth. And so having someone sit there with you being like, it's totally fine, but we're just going to have a discussion about it really like forces you to do that and to see with straight clarity. Because I know a lot of people are like, I don't have the cash to pay down my debt. And it's like, maybe you do. Maybe you're being a little lenient with yourself.
yes. So you want to just get very clear on needs and wants and the definition of those things. And like as a financial coach, I don't tell people how to spend their money. I don't. That's not part of my job. I just tell them wise financial decisions based upon their goals and information of what they want to do. Like I have a client wants to have judgment. Okay. So in light of that, what else are we going to have to sacrifice to be able to do this? right? So if it's in the budget, it's permission to spend money. It's not restrictive. It's actually permission to spend the money guilt-free. We don't need any more guilt and shame around.
Yeah, definitely. No more guilt and shame. And so when you started this relationship with Sarah, like did you guys meet, every week, every month? Like what's kind of that process of accountability and, I get she's still a busy mom.
Accountability. So we have. I work with people. I work with people for 3 months because it's transformational, and in that 12 months, we meet 12 times. In the beginning, it's more frequent, right? Because we have to get through the numbers, the starting point, habits, really what's the underlying, what makes you tick, what's in the past. Put myself in your shoes to be able to help you make good financial decisions, right? So that looks like a 2 hour meeting, and then a week later an accountability meeting, and then every other week for 3 months we check in. They have unlimited access to me, email, text during that time because I'm there to really help them, right? I'm just like their biggest cheerleader of what they're wanting to do. So when they're going through that process, things come up, right? The refrigerator went, like Sarah had her AC completely blow out. It was just helping her allocate different things in her budget and walk her through that process, which is get clear, get control, set a plan. So something came up. It was like, okay, let's just get clear, refocus. What's important? What's not important? I need to get over this hump, and then set the plan of action and the accountability of making sure that she's doing the things that she needs to do to get where she wants to go.
Nice. And it's almost nice that she had that, like, that huge hiccup of the AC while she was working with you, because then she could really see, like, when these situations come up, how do we actually face them? Because if she lives anything like where I do right now, it's 100 degrees. I'm not really skimping on the AC. So it's like, what are you going to do? It kind of needs to happen. So working with you and really attacking that, at the time, is super helpful.
Yeah, it's crucial also to like how not to repeat the behaviors over and over again too, because it's habits and behaviors. So it was like, let's put a buffer in place, an emergency fund. How
Hmm.
much? What is it used for? Because life does happen, right? Tires blow out, camp, like things happen. So let's be proactive versus reactive and work towards things. It's a process, not an event, right? That's always want to tell people like that. And the biggest thing that she did, which I recognize now, is, so I heard a really good thing today, which I want to share with everybody, which is we hide from those things that cause us shame. At least I do, right? I want to avoid those things because they cause
Yeah.
me pain. So she realized that, became vulnerable, and now she's absolutely crushing it. It's awesome. She like you said, she paid for a family vacation in cash. 2 kids, herself, went somewhere that she's been meaning to go for a while and get to pay cash, meaning she came back from her vacation with her. So
And that sounds like the most relaxing vacation. I mean, coming back with it already being paid off and no fears about what you were spending there. It's a real sigh of relief and a great, time. If her value, back to those original values, were to spend time with her family, that's really what she was able to achieve. Besides just paying down the debt and all those other things that she was able to accomplish along the way.
yeah, the things that she speaks to is really the emotions, right? She has peace of mind, contentment, control. uh, um, she says that she needs a sense of yes. So I guess that's, I mean, I can relate to that, where when I was in that situation, it was like disorganized and frustrated and scatterbrained. And now she has objectives and she knows where she is along that journey. And she can primarily value personal values against those things that she does financially and holistically. Like she's getting back out on the scene, dating again, right? And that's all part and parcel of holistically of like, what are you doing for relationships? What are you doing for your health? What are you doing for, those aspects of the wheel of life?
Definitely. And now she's in that much better place where she can teach her kids then about, money and how to handle it and all those different things that was originally her goal. So it seems like it all came around.
It did. It's been a real success doing. I love it. So she's an amazing woman, and she's doing it.
Yeah.
She's doing it.
And I think this is a great example about how you help your clients and really work together, as you're not telling them do this, this, and this, but working together, finding the values and getting that peace of mind, not just debt paid down, checkbox, but peace of mind and just that relaxing and knowing that you're on the right path.
Yeah, I say it's like having a financial consigliere. So someone to bounce ideas off of, things, challenges. This came up. How do I handle that? And you have somebody tell you anything or guide you a certain way, just to make sure you're making wise financial decisions based upon your goals and values of aspirations of what you want in their life.
Definitely. And the one pushback we get a lot is, I'm already $47,000 in debt. Why would I pay for a professional's help on this? But I think you could see, sometimes we need someone to hold us accountable. Clearly, we weren't reaching those goals by ourselves. So, what is that worth to us? And it seems like you were able to save her a ton of money, which, paid for any fees that you charge, and get her in a new position that made really those fees negligible.
Yeah, time, peace of mind. You can't put a price on that stuff. Where
Time's
it's
limited.
intangible. It's truly intangible. Of she's got a big aspect of her life back, where if she thought about all the time she would fight about money and worried and not sleeping, you add that all up, that turned into real time of loss of things, where she doesn't live like that anymore, which is great.
Definitely, definitely. Well, I appreciate you sharing this success story. Is there any part of the story or tips that you wanted to share today that we didn't touch on?
No, I mean, all I know is that the difference in her life is that now I know her better, and I can give tailored strategies based upon and it's not cookie cutter at all, because people don't approach life the same way. They don't see life the same way. So it has to be customizable to who they are. And if it was as easy as the tools of like a budget, you just need a budget. It's usually habits and behaviors and the accountability and follow through. And that's the real thing that people, I think, are missing out there, where that's what my experience has been, just to
Definitely,
help
yeah.
you with that.
If it was just a budget, we would all be rich by now. But I appreciate you, Connor, coming on today and sharing your expertise and really sharing how you can help your clients. And so if anyone feels like they're in the same situation or a similar one and really want some support, I know Connor's more than happy to work with you or just set up a call to make sure it's a right fit. Connor's email has been going through the bottom of this program today. It's connor.tyson@progressfc.com. He's also one of our Purse Strings approved professionals, so you can reach out to him off our site, pursestrings.co. And yeah, let's start feeling super confident about our finances, because it sounds so empowering. It is empowering. So reach out to Connor, and I know he's ready to support you. So that's what we have for this week, and we'll be back again next week to help you be financially fearless. Thank you.
Thank you.